Through all their meetings, Armagh lead by 18 to Tyrone's 11. The first time they met was 103 years ago in 1890. That game was played in Lisburn, and on that day Armagh won by 2 to 1-2. Today the venue has changed. It's the wonderful surroundings of Croke Park, and Armagh won the toss. Their captain Cian McGeeney elected to play into Hill 16. The supporters are getting ready. All eyes will soon be on Brian White, refereeing his third All-Ireland final, and he refereed the replay between these sides 2 years ago. Ulster comes to Croke Park. Armagh in their orange and white attempt to play the ball forward through. Tony McEntee has come out the middle of the field. Cian McGeeney drives it in and immediately goes into the path of Oisin McConville. Philip Loughran shoots from the right. Armagh's first wide, and there's a lot of changes already, Peter.
Yes, that first change, Tony McEntee lined out for the throw in at midfield. Philip Loughran going to right half forward. Possibly Armagh are going to try to play a long ball game, a high ball game. Ronan Clark has gone into full forward, as was suggested earlier on. I mean, it's well known, or at least some commentators would claim that the Tyrone full back line is suspect under the high ball. They're going to try to expose that.
Philip Jordan from the Moy. The Moy sitting precariously in the border between Armagh and Tyrone has been a focal point all week for journalists and media. And it's also the club of Sean Kavanagh as Brian McGuigan plays it inside. We have a free for Tyrone, a foul on Dooher by Andrew McCann. And this was one thing that was well documented before the game, that Brian White is very, very quick to spot a foul off the ball. Christmas comes early. At least it's come in the form of a present for Tyrone, as Tyrone's top scorer Peter Canavan attempts to put his side into the lead. 1 minute and 25 seconds. Tyrone take the lead.
Yes, and I know that the Armagh management, Jimmy, will be very, very disappointed with that. That was a very, very soft free. Andrew McCann had been impeding Brian Dooher as he attempted to make a run, and that really was a handy one. The marking at the back, Francie Bellew on Owen Mulligan, and Andy Mallon staying on Enda McGinley, who is staying in the corner so far.
Kevin Hughes spilled it out and let it go. Loughran has played inside. That's to John McEntee. McEntee shoots, puts it over. Canavan from a free. John McEntee with the 7th point in the championship brings them level.
This was a good move, a confident move, good crisp passing, and then that trusty left foot hooking it over. Certainly started off as the contest we were looking forward to, Jimmy, end to end.
Armagh are more interested in back-to-back at the moment. Aidan O'Rourke, an all-star last year, easily cut out by Gavin Devlin from Arboe. Gavin Devlin, whose father comes from Mahary and County Armagh, just across the loch. Down goes Kavanagh. Free for Tyrone. Brian Dooher. Owen Mulligan was hoping to be the target, but Francie Bellew is running along with him. And would you put that down, Peter, to the Armagh defence? The fact that nobody was free for that ball to be given to, although now Brian McGuigan has got away. Aidan O'Rourke moves in, Cameron comes back, showing no signs of this ankle injury. Certainly not that time either. Plays it out. Jared Kaplan drives it high. We watch the little crowd of Tyrone supporters behind the goals. There's nothing negative about this football. 3.5 minutes in, Tyrone 2, Armagh 1, and Jared Kaplan puts Tyrone into the lead for the second time.
A really sweetly struck ball this from Jared Kaplan. He is one of the best strikers of the ball in the country. But that all came about because when the free arrived from Canavan, nobody had picked up Canavan short, and it was easily returned to him, and then he was fit to make the play.
Philip Jordan breaks it down. The scorer Kaplan picks it up again. Dungannon Clark's man, the first man from Dungannon ever appeared in an All-Ireland senior final. Tyrone win a free. Canavan's in a hurry. Down goes Canavan. Brian White's having none of it. Little clash between himself and Paul McGrane. And was that Peter Canavan's number that they had a little tick against it?
I don't think so. He just was the original foul by Dermot Marsden was being picked.
And McGinley off target. Level and wides. but Tyrone ahead on the scoreboard.
And that was Tony McEntee putting serious pressure there on the end of McGinley's kick. Obviously playing that sort of sweeper role from the middle of the field, but Tyrone are not playing anybody back in their own half.
Tony McEntee gives it to McCann. McCann brought to the ground, turns around, well played by Andrew McCann, and captain Kieran McGinn. McGinney's first strike right down the field. It goes in towards Stephen McDonald, Armagh's all-star last year and many people's idea for player of the year. Oshie McConville. Now it's into the full forward. Damon Marsden. Marsden's through. Held is he. Shoots to the right and wide. It's not even wide. It's spun off his foot. So there's an opportunity, but also an indication that the Tyrone defence is porous if you run at it.
Yes, Marsden's very strong runner. Got up. He wasn't that annoyed about the fact that he was annoyed about the fact he didn't score, but he wasn't complaining to the referee about the lack of a free.
Typical Tyrone football. Short passing. Brian McGuigan runs into two Armagh players. One of them was Tony McEntee, and both of them combined to make sure that McGuigan gets blown up. Armagh put it in immediately. Flicked in, but the hand of Ronan Clark was on the back of the Tyrone defender. A free out. And both sides, Peter, are playing this at a frenetic pace. Sean Kavanagh all on his own for once. And up he now as he tries to go past Oshie McConville, who slips.
And it's really open, Jimmy. There are players free all over the place. So unlike Armagh. There's Brian McGuigan getting the ball in 20 metres of space. But I think that's the second time Brian McGuigan has tried to run by Armagh players, and it simply hasn't worked.
Yes, the two number 11s collided, and it was John McEntee, the occupational therapist, playing in his 31st championship match, who came out on top. But Tyrone still keep possession. Jared Kavlin with 6 minutes gone. It's Kavlin holding it up and faced by Aidan O'Rourke. A nice delicate ball played in the middle. Campbell comes out, gets it on top of him, literally, is Anna McNulty. Tony McEntee standing over Canavan, but the referee's going to call for a hot ball. But you have to hand it to the Armagh defence, Peter. Very quick to close Tyrone down when they get the chance.
Yes, I agree with you, Jimmy. Out in the middle third of the field, it's fairly open, fairly loose. But when Tyrone get inside 25-30 metres, there are a lot of Armagh bodies in there, and they're very strong in the tackle.
Paul McGrain won the ball. Now he wins a free.
Gavin Devlin is not following John McEntee, who is playing back in that deep role as well. So Gavin Devlin playing as a sweeper in front of the Tyrone full back line.
It's McEntee who shrugs off Mulligan. Mulligan holding the jersey and took a little kick in there. Little bit of petulance from the Cookstown Father Rocks player, which is noted by referee Brian White from Wexford. McEntee all the time in the world, has he? A little bit of delicate soccer skills. That's an Armagh ball. It came off Sean Kavanagh, and John McEntee fell on this ground last year and hurt his head, and he's done exactly the same when he collided with Sean Kavanagh.
But that was a very strange piece of play there from Kieran McGinney's pass. Wasn't great. John McEntee was very slow into it. That's that little bit of curve, Jimmy, that joins the grass to the all-weather surface that's around the pitch. And he's still getting treatment, but it was a very casual piece of play from both players.
Well, while McEntee gets attended to by Owen O'Neill, Oshie McConville will take this free from the sideline, drives it in. The only one who's there is Ronan Clark. Clark can't get after it. Kept it in, and actually I thought he had flicked it off the Tyrone midfielder, but it's a wide ball for Armagh. It's their second wide.
Kevin Hughes was in there to contest the ball with Ronan Clark, but I suppose we all have experienced this, Jimmy. A high ball into a full forward, a nameless high ball into a full forward, they hate that sort of thing. It needs to be a fairly measured, long, high delivery, and the two that have gone into Ronan Clark so far certainly have had none of those qualities.
Sean Devine, Ergel Kieran Mann, teammate of Peter Canavan. Marsden is there, but before him comes Conor Gormley. Gormley gets away, eventually finds his way to Kieran Gurley, another injury doubt who has recovered thanks to the wonderful work by the Tyrone backroom staff and physios, I'm sure, all over the countryside. Excellent work by McGinney. McGinney showing his strength. Back to help out is Stephen McDonald. Aidan O'Rourke. Lovely little ball in again to McDonald. McDonald immediately put under pressure, and that pressure means And it gets back to Jared Cavan. It's a high ball. Man, McGuigan is there. So is Francie Bellew. Bellew, the two Crossmaglen Rangers players combine. Tony McEntee using his strength, trying to get past Hughes. Does. Jersey is pulled by Andy McGinley. Fed into Stephen McDonald. This is good work from Armagh. Philip Loughlin, the Claddyman, drives it long and hopeful. Armagh will not be pleased with the end result, but what they're doing out in the middle of the field is very effective.
Yes, they can't afford to kick it in from too far back, Jimmy, because they've so many men behind the ball. And they're experiencing a wee bit of what Tyrone did to Kerry as well. If they're slow on the ball in the middle of the field, Tyrone are getting loads of body in there.
A block, that time by Oshie McConville. Cian Gurley just brought it too close to the Armagh player.
Tremendous level of intensity and commitment from both teams, Jimmy. Now, not all of it is as productive as they would like, but it's certainly not lacking in effort at the minute.
Tony McEntee, who was a sub in last year's final, come on for Paddy McKeever. One of 4 changes from last year's. Paul Hurdy, Andy Mullen, Philip Loughlin being the other 3. Nice ball by McGuigan. The Armagh player is down. That's Francie Bellew, and Bellew is going to be called over. Owen Mulligan. Not only has Owen Mulligan won a free for Tyrone, but it looks as if Bellew is going to pick up a yellow card.
And this is not good news now for the Armagh full back line. Interesting to see that Cian Gurley didn't take responsibility for playing that ball in, Jimmy, as Francie Bellew gets the yellow card. He laid it off to Brian McGuigan, because Brian McGuigan is a master at threading the ball through to the leg of Owen Mulligan.
Well, McGuigan has been doing that for Tyrone at minor and under 21 levels over the years. Peter Canavan, his second point. Peter Canavan, a magnificent record in Tyrone football. He scored the huge total of 43 goals and 537 points. That's with minor, under 21 and senior sides. Brian McGuigan exchanging pleasantries with Kieran McGeeney. Ball straight down the middle, goes to Kavanagh, who doesn't get it at the first attempt, but gets it away. Picked up by Devlin. Now it's Kevin Hughes, the Kalisha man, drops it inside Andy McGinley, who runs into John McEntee. Down goes McGinley, and the wise thing was that Brian White immediately stopped the play. Players getting involved, but I think when we see that again, we'll see 2 players intent on gaining possession and then colliding together. One of them, I think, is Tony McEntee. I'm not too sure, but the Tyrone player is certainly Andy McGinley.
As sometimes happens, Jimmy, when the 2 boys clash shoulder to shoulder, their heads ricocheted, and you could nearly feel it. We're very far away, but you could almost feel it up here. Now, that little bit of afters was because Philip Jordan knocked the ball out of Kieran McGeeney's hand after the free had been given.
And the wisest thing there was that raised hand of Peter Canavan saying, "Settle down, boys." Joe Kernan, John McCluskey and Paul Grimley on the sideline as we see Stephen O'Neill warming up. I'm sure the Armagh men will be just wondering what to do if Tony McEntee was to be taken out of this, because he's certainly been very effective, not only all year but in this match today.
Yes, his role up till today has been to drop back and help out Kieran McGeeney in the half back line, and even a little further back. Today he's playing as an orthodox midfielder and then dropping back a bit, which is a bit easier to do. But this will upset Armagh's plans. Now, I suppose there's been a lot of talk about the benches. The obvious replacement for Andy McGinley would be to bring in Stephen O'Neill, and suddenly that would nearly improve the scoring aspect of the Tyrone forward line. Andy McGinley does an awful lot of unselfish running, an awful lot of work which benefits other players, but Stephen O'Neill is a finisher. And thankfully both players are on their feet. I suppose it's a testimony to the fitness of these players, Jimmy, that they can get up after a knock like that. And this is a throw up now.
Yes, between Paul McGrain and Sean Kavanagh, and this the 65th championship game. Both these sides clear exponents of the physical, psychological and physiological demands that Gaelic football place on them today. Ciarán McGuinney looking for movement up front. No one seems to be moving. That's a poor effort by McGuinney. Kicked away, now Cavlin drives it back to Mulligan. Mulligan slipped and allowed Fancy Bellew to come and collect it. Aidan O'Rourke gives it to McGuinney again. The high standards that McGuinney has set for himself will not be too pleased, and he can add that one to it as well.
Just looking up the field, Jimmy, he couldn't play it straight up, and the same with the last one. There were 2, 4, 5 Tyrone players on their own 45-metre line covering that space.
Philip Jordan has played in the last 12 championship games, plays that into Cavan, or Cavan I should say. Cavan gets it into Mulligan. Quick presence of mind. Mulligan brought to ground. Cavan gets it back again. He's upended and a free in, and that was a really silly free because Sean Cavan wasn't going anywhere.
Yes, and funny, before that I thought Ciarán McGuinney was tackling in such a way that Brian White would have given a free. He didn't give it, and then they really careered into Sean Cavan there. Now it hasn't done Sean Cavan any harm, but it's presenting Tyrone with these. This is their third simple free. Now we're not talking about 45-metre frees. These are frees straight in front of the goals.
So Peter Canvan, Ergel Kieran, player and captain of the side, pops it over again. That's his third point. It's Tyrone's fourth. And Tyrone lead by 4 points to 1 after almost 16 minutes of this first half.
I suppose you could nearly trace that bout of play back, Jimmy, to the two balls that Ciarán McGuinney gave away from what was very good, safe possession in his hands.
There's another ball eludes an Armagh player. Aidan O'Rourke couldn't get it. Brian McGuigan's in a hurry. Chased by McGuinney. McGuigan switches inside, just like his father did back in 1984. Brian McGuigan stretches Tyrone's lead. It's his 7th score in this year's championship. He scored 2 the last day, and now the margin is 4 points from a Tyrone team who have recovered from an early Armagh assault and are now established themselves on the scoreboard.
Yes, but this came from another unforced error. The kick out from Paul Hardy going straight to a Tyrone player, and then it was a worry before the game for Armagh what Brian McGuigan would do on Ciarán McGuinney, and his movement to the wings is going to trouble McGuinney.
I'm just wondering, is the sun a factor in this? Because 3 times the ball has come sailing out of the sun, and 3 times the Armagh players couldn't get it. You can't say that about Oshie McConville. McConville picked it up. Damon Marsden spins to the left and gets it. Kicks it high inside. Over the top it goes. Ronan Clark is there. So is Stephen McDonald. McDonald gets it now. He's got a little bit of space inside with the left foot. Stephen McDonald pops it over, making sure that he scored in every game of the championship as Sean Cavan comes to the sideline and gets a little bit of advice from Mickey Hart and Paddy Talley.
And this was all Stephen McDonald's own work, Jimmy. The ball played in was a ball meant more maybe for Ronan Clark than McDonald, but he persevered, won the ball and then finished very well. 2 points for Armagh. Interestingly enough, I suppose 2 of those points have both come from play. No fouls by the Tyrone defence, whereas at the other end Armagh give away 3 scoreable frees.
Philip Loughlin, excellent ball, quickly played into the path of Ronan Clark. Clark is a man outside him. It's Aidan O'Rourke. Aidan O'Rourke has got Oshie McConville. He doesn't want him. Gives it away at the end of it. Caught in 2 minds. McConville on one side, Mars on the other, and now it's ended up in the hands of Kevin Hughes. So twice Armagh have got through, twice Tyrone have got away with it as Brian Dooher intends to make them pay. Clanagale player loses it but wins a free. A little bit of word there between John McEntee and Paul McGrain.
Yes, Aidan O'Rourke will be thinking a point's a good score. Although I suppose in fairness to him that it sort of opened up for him, Jimmy, and he was tempted to go on ahead, but that final ball was terrible.
Mulligan standing in front of Bellew. Now he's trying to get a little bit of space and gets it inside of McGinley. McGinley turns but falls. Tries to pick himself up again. Plays it out. Brian McGuigan. Straight through goes McGuigan. Down he goes. Opportunity for Kavanagh, who puts it wide. Unbelievably, he put his hand on his head. The young man from the Moy, who's had such a wonderful year for Tyrone. I'm sure he'll have nightmares about this on his own, just like Steve McDonald against Monaghan, and the result was the same.
Yes, but credit here, Brian White was letting a lot of advantage go here. That could have been a penalty, but look at where Paul Hurdy is, out on him right away. It was Sean Kavanagh's, not his favoured foot. Good work by the Armagh defence, or a let-off for the Armagh defence maybe.
Tyrone second wide as Tony McEntee pours through the middle again. He needs help. Moshi McConville spins away. Moshi McConville, lovely transfer by the Cross McLean pair. Off the post it goes. They look the point all the way. Back comes Dooher. The pace unrelenting. Both these sides are credit Ulster football. And now it's Ryan McManaman. McManaman from Dromore in the heart of Tyrone. Gives it to Philip Jordan, the Moy player, showing great athleticism, piles through. Still Tyrone keep possession. Cavlin, he turned away disgusted. 1, 2, 3 Armagh players, surprised that Paul Hurdy let it drop, but I suppose if you're 6'4", you can wait on it coming down again. John McEntee, Paul McGrain, one of the first times that he's touched it. Ronan Clark, full forward last year, young player of the year as well. Out this time the left half forward position. McEntee spins it off the outside of the right foot. McDonald turns inside, looking for someone, gives it back to McEntee again. Good work by Tyrone, 4 men back, but still McEntee gets it, gives it inside, but the hand belonged to Jared Cavlin. Took it out of his opposite number's hand. That was Oisin McConville, but now it's Brian Dooher. Unrelenting pace, Peter.
Yes, a real good defence there, blanket defence by Tyrone. Just John McEntee couldn't get through, and that's the third attack in a row, Jimmy, where Armagh have had good possession and haven't used it. Now granted, one of them came back off the post, but it still didn't count.
Left footer kick by Kevin Hughes. Owen Mulligan's in pursuit. Fancy Bellew with him. The ball goes over the line. Last person to touch it was Owen Mulligan. Fancy Bellew's possession. Takes a quick ball, gives it to Philip Loughlin. Crossfield ball, that time collected by Enda McNulty. Ballyboden's an Enda player caught in a high challenge, was he? He certainly felt it. Big Joe's got off the bench. Mickey Hart hasn't sat down from the game started. A wonderful contest.
It is indeed. There's 21 minutes gone, and really, certainly the players haven't had a chance to draw breath there. That's where Enda McNulty got the knock to the head, although it doesn't look like it's going to affect his playing.
High ball driven in by O'Rourke. The hand on the jersey belonged to red and white. And for once Tyrone lose the composure in their defence, give away a free, and there's an opportunity for Armagh's master scorer Oisin McConville. He might be lagging behind Stephen McDonald in the scoring stakes, but when it comes to free kicks in front of the goal, he's had very few equals in Armagh's footballing history. McConville's first score. It's Armagh's third. Tyrone lead by 2, and we're almost 23 minutes gone in this pulsating first half.
Yes, that was a long high ball in, but the thing about it was dropping on top of the big Armagh men. Obviously caused a bit of panic, and I think it was Conor Gormley playing on Dermot Marsden who eventually ended up pulling the jersey.
Don't forget our text number. There's certainly a lot to talk about in this first half, and we've still got 12 minutes left.
Armagh, interestingly enough, Jimmy, as that high ball goes into the Tyrone defence, have switched Andy Mallon onto Brian McGuigan in response to that. Kieran McGinney's now playing on Jared Cavlin.
Kevin Hughes ensuring that Tyrone keep possession. Philip Jordan on his own. Armagh players run to close him down. When they do, they release Sean Kavanagh. The late tackle, and the foul was by Philip Loughlin. At least Philip Loughlin's the person making his way over to Brian White. So Philip Loughlin is going to pick up a yellow card.
Yes, Brian White obviously not going to tolerate that, Jimmy. That's one way of stopping the running game that Tyrone employs so well. It's to take out the runner. Brian White having none of it.
Yes, Philip Loughlin then in his 14th championship game today. He played 6 of them last year, all as subs, but this year he's certainly made the number 8 jersey his own. Peter Canavan then. Certainly a testament to the work that's been done on him since he fell in the semi-final against Kerry. Comes in, kicks it with that style peculiar to Peter Canavan himself. Often imitated, never bettered, and Armagh are introducing a sub. Paddy McKeever is coming on. And we think it's a blood sub.
Dermot Morrison walked off, Jimmy, definitely with a knock to the head.
As he walked down the tunnel, I could just, from my vantage point here, see that he was certainly holding the back of his head, and also that there was being a compress applied to the back of his head. So Paddy McKeever's on. How long? We just have to wait and see. But Paddy McKeever will certainly be delighted to get this opportunity. Cian McGeeney goes after Enda McGinley. Cian McGeeney gets Enda McGinley. Enda McGinley loses out to the strength of the Armagh captain. Tony McEntee gives it back again. First touch for Paddy McKeever. That distinctive style of his. The ball is flicked out of his hand. He'll not really worry about that. It's the sideline for Armagh. They've only one man inside on the edge of the square. That's Ronan Clark. Ryan McManaman is there. So also is his marker, Kieran Gurley.
There are 5 Tyrone defenders back in there now, Jimmy, with two Armagh forwards. And it still goes in high.
We could see the push from here on by Oshie McConville. Tyrone get on with the game. Ryan McManaman gets it back again from Gavin Devlin. Now it's Jared Kavanagh. Dungannon Clark's man gives it into Sean Kavanagh. Sean Kavanagh, who played with Ronan Clark on the St Patrick's Armagh team in the Macquarie final of 2000. In fact, there are 16 past pupils of St Pat's Armagh in these two squads today. 11 in Armagh, 5 from Tyrone. And here's one of them in shot at the moment, Ronan Clark, who took his eye off the ball and lost out on it. And it's these little moments of indecision.
Yes, the game has gone very defensive, Jimmy. Now, both teams are not prepared to attack in any sort of numbers. Tyrone are getting a lot of men back. That was Brian McGuigan who dispossessed Paddy McKeever on the far side. And the same applies in the Armagh half of the field. A lot of bodies behind the ball and not many opponents.
That was a bad pass from Kevin Hughes. Excellent work by Oshie McConville. The Armagh forwards attacking as ferociously as their defensive players. Now it's McConville, runs into Kevin Hughes. Fouled by Kevin Hughes. Armagh have a man on his own. That man is Philip Loughran. He was the man who scored the winning point against Donegal. At least it was until Oshie McConville struck his penalty over the bar. Stephen McDonald. What a score from McDonald. Who would want to be a defender? You think you've done everything right. You put him out in an impossible position. What does he do? Kicks it over his shoulder over the bar.
Yes, he did unbelievably well, Jimmy, because there was 2 men coming to close him down. He obviously knew that. He knew that if he didn't get the ball away as quickly as possible, he was going to be tackled by 2 men, and well tackled by 2 men. That's a magnificent score. Best score of the day.
Kevin Hughes grounded by Paul McGrain. Ball slapped out of his arms, but still Hughes had the strength and presence of mind as it eventually finds its way into Enda McGinley. McGinley spins, turns, goes past Andy Mullen, gives it to McGregor, gets it back again. This is wonderful close play from Tyrone, but it's the Armagh defence who come away. Stephen McDonald, the point scorer a moment ago. Now he's inside his own 45-metre line. McEntee, Andrew McCann. There's certainly a lot of hits going in there. Kevin Hughes shouldered Andy McCann, and he was the one who felt the brunt of it. McEntee loses it, but gets it back again. There's no one inside for him. He just have to hold it up as Ronan Clark gives it to McConville. Armagh use a bit of whip. Stephen McDonald steadies, but that's one is going nowhere.
But back to that bout of play at the other end, Jimmy. Brilliant play by the Tyrone forwards, Enda McGinley in particularly. And suddenly, yes, this is it here. But what work by the Armagh players, getting back, getting hands on the ball, not panicking, not giving away the free as they've done a few times earlier on. Quality from both attackers and defenders. Aidan
O'Rourke fouls Brian Dooher. There's our text number on the screen now. 07764 355 202 with almost 5 minutes to go in this first half. Goal chances at either end. The ball has come back off the post, and then we have the one constant, and that is the Tyrone captain Peter Canavan, who intended that ball for Brian McGuigan, but Francie Bellew back, recovered from the yellow card. Aidan O'Rourke tries to get past Mulligan. The half back line now of Andrew McCann and O'Rourke combining yet again. There's a lovely professionalism about the way that Armagh just keep possession and eventually release somebody. That someone was Kieran McGeeney. Crossfield ball. Clark was on his feet, decided to go for the shot. Steve McDonald is there. McManaman is there. McDonald got it. Was he held? He felt he was. But play goes on. Sean Kavanagh. We've a Tyrone player injured in the far side of the field. I think it's Conor Gormley. But the play continues with Conor McAnallen up from his full back berth. He not feel out of place there. He played midfield for Tyrone for many years, but the strength of young Andy Mullen wins the day. The young Pearso player McGeeney was taken out of it by McAnallen. Brian White wants to have a word with them.
Yes, I suppose if Brian White is going to be consistent here, Conor McAnallen has to go into the book. Francie Bellew booked for persisting fouling, and now Conor McAnallen and Philip Rockland both going into the book for late tackles, stopping the runner. Armagh have a problem, Jimmy, but when they get this ball that they're winning brilliantly at the back through good defending, good tackling, they have absolutely nobody up front. They can't play it long, and it means then that it ends up in an attack like that last one. Ronan Clark, it was a bad decision by Ronan Clark. He should have gone for the score, but he went for a high lob into the middle.
Paddy McKeever, crossfield ball to no one in particular, and Kevin Hughes had come back because there was three Tyrone men. Kevin Hughes, Ryan McManaman and Kieran Gurley, and it's Hughes who's going on to get this return, being pursued by Paul McGrain, caught by Paul McGrain, but still Kevin Hughes keeps possession. Good work by referee Brian White. The collegial man gives it to the Tyrone captain Peter Canavan, who goes through, I was going to say, an impossible space. Brian McGuigan holds the ball up excellently, being tackled by his own number 11, and down he went. Now John McEntee felt that there was a certain amount of how shall we say, falling in that move, but it's one Tyrone free, and Peter Canavan is holding his left ankle. We can't see it at the moment because we're looking at Brian McGuigan going down. Well, the hand certainly came in from McEntee.
Yeah, well, no, look, I've been critical of the Armagh tackling and the fouls that have been given away so far in the game, Jimmy, but that free was bought by Brian McGuigan. I suppose fair play to part of the modern game. Peter Canavan hasn't been running that well, Jimmy, for the last 5 or 10 minutes. Now he's going to take this free, and I suppose so far he has scored 4 points from frees. He can take the pressure, he can score them, even if his ankle's not 100%.
There's a little incident in the net there between Owen Mulligan and Paul Hurdy. Brian White is going to have a word with his umpires in there, Tommy and Dennis Lonigan from the Kilsheelan Club in Tipperary. So Peter Canavan is going to put more pressure on this right ankle. He's going through the pain barrier once again. Canavan's 4th point, 1 goal in 47, or split point, 1 goal in 48 in this year's championship. There it was again. Owen Mulligan being escorted out of the nets. Brian McGuigan is coming off, and Stephen O'Neill is coming on. That is an interesting one, Peter.
Yes, Brian McGuigan has done, I think he has done well in this first half. Maybe let's go back to the rumours that were persisting during the week, Jimmy, that he wasn't 100%. But he has served them well, Jimmy. He scored a point from play and won a couple of frees as the game was restarted.
Stephen O'Neill then, who scored 3 points when he came on in the last match for Peter Canavan. Armagh are not getting the ball away. A lovely pick-up by Paddy McKeever. Beautiful pick-up under pressure. Andrew McCann, that's McKeever again. Kieran McGeeney, 2 Armagh target men. Aidan O'Rourke drives it along. Ronan Clark has to get it before the ball bounces, or it'll go over the end line. And Mickey Hurt is going to give his defence a pat on the back for the way that they've closed down the Armagh forwards in this first half.
Yes, it's been a team thing with Jimmy. They've got loads of people behind the ball. Nobody afraid to work very, very hard, and that for the team. It has been a good defensive display by the Tyrone defence, and just that one free given away.
John Devine then lost his place after the Ulster final when the side conceded 4 goals, and he'll not be too pleased about that effort as Steve McDonald fires into the left foot. Now will it go over? It won't. Armagh's 4th wide. John Devine looking out over a strangely static Croke Park at the moment. Players holding their breath and watching as McEntee collects it as arm is being held. Ciarán McGeeney looks to take it quick. His side are down by 3 points. Tony McEntee, delightful ball played into the path of Ronan Clark. Clark needed space. The jersey was held. Kicked it into the left foot. No way that Brian White could have seen that. And the ball goes to the right of the post and wide. And that's Armagh's 5th wide. And contrast that with Tyrone's 2. Brian White's going to ask for that ball to be taken again because it didn't travel beyond the 20-metre line.
He's also asking John Devine to wait until he blows the whistle to signal it. Armagh won't be happy, Jimmy, with their return for the possession that they've had. Ronan Clark that time, unlike Stephen McDonald for his really good point, he took nearly too long to get himself set up, and then he turned onto his weaker left foot.
Devine drives it out again. It's picked up by Aidan O'Rourke. O'Rourke plays it inside. The Tyrone defence back in numbers yet again. Bravely picked up and held, and the free is won. Philip Jordan, Brian Dooher in with Stephen McDonald. Brian White putting a little tick at the number 13 on the Armagh side of his notebook. Tyrone certainly in no rush at the moment. Stephen O'Neill's first touch, nice left-footed ball played delightfully in the path of Kavanagh, who's moved into the half-forward line. Ball is played into McGinley. McGinley across the 20-metre line, left foot, off the foot of Paul Hurdy. That's twice in this game. Is 6'4". That's come into play. He was going one way, but his leg went the other way, and it's the last action of the first half. Enda McGinley becomes the 4th Tyrone player to score. As Tyrone, who are going off at half-time, double scores thanks mainly to that man in shot, the Tyrone captain Peter Canavan. 8 points to Tyrone, 4 points to Armagh, and Armagh will look back at chances missed in the first half. The ball came off the post twice, that meant going through, but it's Tyrone who win the happier at half-time, as I said, leading by 8 points to Armagh's 4. Now there's 35 minutes to answer the question: can Tyrone win their first All-Ireland? 14 teams have never won an All-Ireland. Tyrone are one of them at this point in time. It's 1989 and 90 since the team has retained their All-Ireland title. That was Cork. Things getting slightly hot and heavy out in the middle of the field. Sean Kavanagh picked up an injury, and the players are all around him. And Brian White was very, very quick in there, and also very quick to call someone from the sideline to have a look at the midfielder. Yes, he didn't give a free, Jimmy. He stopped the play there because of what he suspected was a serious injury to Sean Kavanagh. He's keeping players back, and I mean, I agree with most of the comments so far. Brian White has done well. Yes, I was speaking to him in the hotel this morning, and he was looking forward to the game, and certainly one of the most experienced whistlers, as the Tyrone physio helps Sean Lally to Sean Kavanagh to his feet. And yet another player to suffer a head injury during this game, Peter. Here it is again. Down he went, straight into the ground. Actually, it was on his shoulder, and I don't know if he actually hurt his head at all, but Sean Kavanagh won't want to leave this field.
Yes, I think most of those injuries, Jimmy, they're more a credit to the players. It's because of their commitment, their absolute commitment. They're prepared to put their bodies on the line to win ball, to keep possession, to stop the opposition. And I mean, it's just an indication of the level that Gaelic football has gone to.
Yes, they make them strong round the Moy. Kavanagh's on his feet. Hughes flicks it away. Tyrone are now playing into Hill 16. Armagh attacking the canal end. Tony McEntee. Remember, it's Armagh who are trailing by 4 points. Spins away and gives it to Paddy McKeever. The left foot of McKeever. John Devine had it signalled wide early on. Armagh's first wide. And Paddy McKeever certainly has appeared to be a substitute for Damon Marsden. And we're looking out in the field and we can't see Peter Canavan at the moment. Just have to wait and check as Armagh get a sideline ball. Tony McEntee, his captain Kieran McGeaney has come back. Ball played over the top. Archie McConville and McMenamin. McMenamin is there. McConville flicked it back. Tried to flick it off McMenamin, but it's another wide. Brian McGuigan is back onto the field, and we can't see Peter Canavan, so there's a possibility that they've brought Brian McGuigan back on again, Peter.
Yes, that seems to be the case, Jimmy. Peter Canavan, I don't know whether he went back into the changing room for something or not to appear back, but Brian McGuigan is playing centre half forward on McGeaney.
So Tyrone have lost their talisman and their captain. Can they keep the lead, or can Armagh prove that they are the team of comebacks? They did it in last year's final. They're trailing by 4 points at the moment. Tony McEntee, it's all on the far side of the field. John McEntee drives it high. Oisin McConville's under it. So is Rand McMenamin, punched away by McMenamin. A lot of players slipping at the start of this second half. There's another example of it as down goes Kieran Gurley. Still gets the ball, his jersey was held. Paddy McKeever was in a collision off the ball.
But again, Armagh have sort of picked up for the left off in the first half, Jimmy. A bit slow and ponderous in their attack, allowing Tyrone defenders to get back and close them down, making them play the ball square. And that effort from John McEntee was more in hope than anything else.
Certainly was. A little breeze picking up. Speaking to one of the Dublin Miners just at the start of the second half, and he was saying that the breeze favoured the team playing into the hill. So if that's the case, Tyrone are playing with the breeze as Kevin Hughes being tackled by Paul McGrain, and now it's Philip Loughlin who takes over. Excellent work by Paddy McKeever. McKeever got it from Kavanagh. Paddy Mullen, who watched this game, or watched the final last year from up on the hill. Brian White judged Philip Loughlin to have fouled the ball. The ball is played in the middle. It's Stephen O'Neill, gives it inside to Kavlin. Kavlin shoots and puts it wide. Unbelievably, now to give him his due, Paul Hurdy was quickly off his line, just as he was for Kavanagh, but the result was the same. He can't believe it, we can't believe it, and when Jared Kavlin looks at it again, he won't believe it.
Brilliant final pass by Stephen O'Neill to his hand. I suppose we'll give credit to how we'll see it better here. Actually, the keeper coming out. Well, it was a miss, Jimmy.
Big Paul Hurdy then, in his 23rd game as an Armagh senior county player. As we look down at young Andy Mullen, he's playing his 8th championship match. A real fairy tale for Andy Mullen. He played in the under-21 side, played in the McKenna Cup, was retained as part of the Armagh panel that started the year, and now 7 months later he's appearing in his first All-Ireland final as Armagh attempt to retain their title. He's back up on his feet, gets a little round of applause from the crowd. They're probably tired after doing that Mexican wave.
Yes, Kieran McGeaney there in the middle of the pitch, instructing Andy Mullen to come and pick up Brian McGuigan.
What a take by Paul McGrain. Aidan O'Rourke kicks it through the middle, angle ball. O'Rourke was there. Now it's Ronan Clark. He's got a man outside him. It's Paddy McKeever, the Ballyhagan player. Didn't get over the first attempt. That allowed the Tyrone players in. Down goes McKeever. Conor Gormley from Cagmore had his hand up. Down went McKeever. And while we watch the Tyrone player being spoken to, hand down a mark on the sideline.
Thanks, Jimmy. I'm actually in underneath Croke Park. What I have to tell you is that Peter Canavan has received treatment at half-time. I've just spoken with the Tyrone doctor. It is the recurrence of the ankle injury. He says that Peter can make a reappearance, and we're likely to see him for the final 15 minutes of the second half if required. Back up to you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Mark. Andy Mallon is about to be substituted. His place will be taken by number 21, Kieran Hughes. So one Pearse Oak player for another, and all this will hardly help Paddy McKeever as Kieran Hughes takes the place of Andy Mallon. Paddy McKeever settled himself. Double scores at the moment. 8 for Tyrone, 4 for Armagh. McKeever puts it between the post. It's Armagh's first score since the 27th minute of the first half. We're now in the 7th minute of the second half, and the Armagh supporters all around the ground are off their feet.
And though changes have occurred, Andrew McCann is now marking Brian McGuigan. Kieran McGeeney was very keen to get off him and get back marking Enda McGinley. Once Andy Mallon went off, Andrew McCann was straight back on him. Good possession won there by Jared Cavlin.
Excellent work by Cavlin. Tyrone needed possession. Gavin Devlin, McManaman runs in, spins, holds it, gives it to Dooher. Shoulder, fairly shouldered. McManaman is down. Kieran Hughes has got the ball. Kieran Hughes was fouled as he picked it up. And there was an example there of the physicality of this Armagh side. You had McManaman who got a shoulder charge, he went down. Dooher got a shoulder charge, and he went down as well.
Yes, and both of those were legal. Ryan McManaman was met fair and square in the shoulder, and obviously the bigger, stronger man obviously came out of it better. Ryan McManaman still down. Brian Dooher is up and ready to go. There's Brian. I think it was more that fall that left Brian Dooher with a problem. There was the kick as the player attempted to pick up the ball that Brian White gave the free for.
Ryan McManaman, born in Canada, one of the few players that never played underage football for Tyrone at minor and under 21 level. With a Tyrone player lying on the ground. It looks like Brian Dooher again. Sean Kavanagh trying to explain what happened. Brian White asking everyone to get out of the road. Who does this stop-start game help, Peter?
Well, Armagh need to get some momentum going here. This is that incident where Brian Dooher's run was blocked by Paul McGrean.
So while all that is going on and Brian Dooher's being helped to his feet, we've been told that Peter Canavan is back on the sideline.
This is definitely helping Tyrone, Jimmy. This is not allowing Armagh to get their hands on the ball and get moving again. Allowing Tyrone to get possession, keep the ball.
Miraculous recovery by Brian Dooher, feeds it to the man on the overlap. That was Philip Jordan. Down went Jordan. Paddy McKeever's going to be spoken to. Looks as if he's going to be the second Armagh player to receive a yellow card. Owen Mulligan looking a little bit of room. I think he's going to be told to bring the ball forward. That's exactly what happened, as we see in shot how they won the free in the first place.
Yes, and those 15 metres that Brian White has brought the ball forward could be critical to Owen Mulligan and Tyrone.
10 minutes gone in the second half, just 1 point. Owen Mulligan taking over the kicking duties from Peter Canavan. What a wonderful response, and I doubt if he'd have kicked that over the bar if it had been on the 45-metre line.
No doubt about it. That definitely was created by the 14 or 15 yards that Francie Bellew gave up to the Tyrone player.
1 goal and 18 points in this year's championship. The Cookstown player doing a few stretches. Paul Hurdy drives it along again. McGrean was there. Kavanagh's down over. Gurley over carrying the ball. Things are definitely hotting up in the middle of the field. And now the referee's going to give a hot ball because an Armagh player pushed the Tyrone player out of the road. Armagh at the moment are losing their discipline. There's another example of it inside the space of a couple of minutes. Here they win the free, but they're about to lose it. About to lose the ball, and that's why.
Yes, things are going nicely Tyrone's way, Jimmy. There was an elbow there. Tony McEntee reacted to that. Brian White, often the referee doesn't see the initial contact and reacts to the second one. Armagh need possession.
And they get it. Aidan O'Rourke loses it but gets it back again. Plays it back. And this is Tyrone putting on their full court press, as they would say in basketball. Aidan O'Rourke, in fact, has slipped the leash. Armagh have got 3 men inside. O'Rourke gives it back to Paddy McKeever. Down goes McKeever. Dangerous tackle. Now, could this be more than a yellow card? This is Kevin Hughes from Colishall. He hasn't been booked up to this, but this is going to be very interesting to see what Brian White does.
Well, that's the highest, most dangerous tackle we've had all day. I'd say it's still yellow. I'd say his heart missed a beat there after he had gone down.
So the pressure is coming on both sides. It's also coming on the referee, and Brian White has told Brian Dooher to make sure he steps back. Paddy McKeever looks at the target. Paddy McKeever got Armagh's first score. He's about to get their second score, and you've got to hand it to Paddy McKeever. He's been sprung off the bench 3 or 4 times in this year's championship, and he's always rose to the challenge.
Yes, he has matured as a player as well. He used to be a bit of a loose cannon, Jimmy. You weren't quite sure what they were going to get, but I must say those 2 frees, and that second one in particular, which was difficult, and it was him had been fouled. Not often a good idea to take the free yourself after the impact of a foul.
Good kick out by Devine. Loughran's under it. Breaks down into the path of Brian Dooher. Dooher being chased by Philip Loughren. Excellent work by Dooher. It was a little bounce that just got him away. Plays it across inside. Kevin Hughes gets it. Down he goes with the shoulder. Still plays it back to Hughes. Sensible ball by Kevin Hughes right across the top. The Tyrone players combine, but McManaman loses out. Now can Armagh go on the counter-attack? O'Rourke, that's a poor ball to McEntee. McEntee's forced to chase after it. They didn't go to chest. Off the foot of Kieran Gurley. So the little element of surprise is lost. Sun has disappeared. There's a slight chill, but I'm sure the players out on the field don't feel it. That's a poor ball given away. Brian Dooher collects it. McGuigan back again in place of his captain. Mulligan along the side, he'll never get that. Especially with Francie Bellew pouring down. That was another example, Peter, of the ball being given away as Damon Marsden comes back onto the field, and he is going to take the place of Ronan Clark.
It really hasn't gone that well for Ronan Clark today, Jimmy, in terms of gaining possession and using the ball that he's got. This will be an improvement for Armagh as they resort back to their 2-man full forward line.
Long ball over the top. Kevin Hughes on his own. Quick release into Rand McManaman. McManaman has come away from his corner back position back into the half back line where he played for Tyrone for so long. Now it's Kieran Gurley from the Rock. He won a Hogan medal with Dungannon back in 1998. He was playing with Brian McGuigan then. Both of them are out on the field today on this, the biggest day in Tyrone's football history since 1985 or 1986 when they lost to Kerry, and 1995 when they lost to Dublin.
Stephen O'Neill standing over this. Obviously this will suit his left foot.
Well, it suited the left-footed player, but Stephen O'Neill gets Tyrone's second wide, now equaling their total of the first half. So they've certainly been very mean in terms of putting the ball wide of the post. Paul Hurdy noticed that Philip Loughren had gone over for that ball, but so also did Brian McGuigan. Sean Kavanagh's gone down with cramp. Brian McGuigan picks it up, holds possession. Gives it back to Calvin. Calvin with the right foot is high. Purdy watches it as it drifts to the right and wide. 2 Tyrone players are down at the moment. Very noticeable that Sean Kavanagh dropped to the ground there with cramp in the middle of all of that.
I'm not sure what that was about, Jimmy, but it was great work by Brian McGuigan. He left his own man when he realised what Paul Hurley was going to do with the short kick out.
A reverse side, Paul McGrain dropping the ball. Brian Dooher loses it now, and it's John McEntee. The full forward line was looking at quick, but instead it's given to Tony McEntee. Tony gets it at the second attempt. McMenamin's pulling at him, gives it back, turns, kicks it over the shoulder. Diarmaid Marsden, the man who led the fight back against Kerry in 2002 when Armagh collected their first All-Ireland, back again on the field in the second half. Gets his first point, and now there's just 2 between them.
Brilliant tackle in the middle of the field there to dispossess Brian Dooher, who was trying to, here it is, tried to play the ball over the head, blocked, brilliantly blocked. But funny enough, I thought Armagh were very slow then in their build-up. Stephen McDonald made a great run inside but wasn't found, and Marsden did particularly well there despite the pressure of Gavin Devlin to get the ball over the bar.
Kevin Hughes scrabbling at the ball, collects it. Kieran Gurley spins away again, drives it down the field. Tyrone keeping possession. Down goes Stephen O'Neill, wins a free, and McNulty alongside him. 40 metres out. It's a kick for a left-footed kicker. Interestingly, Owen Mulligan is going across.
Well, this is that thing, Jimmy, about the fellow who has been fouled. Is he composed enough? And Stephen O'Neill decides that he's not. But Stephen O'Neill has done well since he came in on Enda McNulty. Andy McNulty probably had spent his whole time in the build-up, Jimmy, shaking himself up to mark Peter Canavan. Stephen O'Neill is a slightly different player and has been getting reasonably good possession.
Mulligan with the right foot. Right side, left side, doesn't make any difference to the man from Cookstown. Like Gavin Devlin, a pupil under the inspiration of Peter Canavan, gets his second wide. Now there's 3 points between them. The sideline for Armagh remains unruffled. McGrain is under it and catches it. Diarmaid Marsden has moved away from his man, but that's that high, hopeful ball again. Tyrone of men there. Sean Kavanagh. And that ball into the middle, Peter, just really suits a packed defence.
Yes, well, again, back to the type of ball, Jimmy. That wasn't a great ball. That was kicked up and came off the outside of his boot. It was to nobody. They need to be getting it in closer to the goal and a bit more on top of the player.
There's a different type of ball there. Enda McGinley straight into the chest of Stephen O'Neill. Brian McGuigan, playmaker, but blocked that time by Philip Loughran. Armagh win a free. Jared Kaplan in with a late tackle. Kieran McGeaney off the left foot into Steve McDonald, who's come away out onto the field here. Cormac McDonald is with him. Now Kevin Hughes, he left the both of them standing. Beautiful move by McDonald. Kicks it high in the middle. Marsden's under it. So is John Devine. Marsden punched out. Paddy McKeever can't get it. He can now. A lovely chip. Back to McKeever. McKeever turns inside. He's being held. Get it away. But it was the throw. Players tossing off the ball. That was Diarmaid Marsden. Appears to be getting back in towards the goal there. And there's some passes this, Peter, which are not pretty.
Yes, something must have happened there before that free on Paddy McKeever, because Philip Jordan ran straight back to Diarmaid Marsden. The two of them sort of jumped up at each other. Philip Jordan got caught in the face with either an elbow, a hand or a fist from Diarmaid Marsden. And it must have been something that had happened, Jimmy, before, because it wasn't involved in the throw ball by Paddy McKeever. It wasn't involved in that incident.
I think it was Marsden was run back in towards the goals again. I think he was the player. Well, Brian White is not too sure. He's gone back in to check with his linesmen or his umpires. And this is one of the great advantages that a referee has when he brings the same men with him all the time.
We might see it here, Jimmy. This is Paddy McKeever, who's going to get... Marsden's going to be talked. This is where the free occurred. Philip Jordan is not in shot here. Actually, we maybe won't see it. Philip Jordan left that passage of play and ran back towards Diarmaid Marsden. The two players sort of jumped at each other and Philip Jordan got caught in the face.
Red card for Marsden. Back on the field. Taken off in the first half with an injury. Sent off in the second half. Now how will Armagh react to that? You can see how that's affecting the Tyrone supporters, but this is a big test for Armagh. Here it is again.
There's Philip Jordan. Now Philip Jordan was the man who started that incident. I don't know what it was about or why he ran towards Stuart Marsden.
Well, from the little bit we saw of it, it didn't appear as if Marsden had made an awful lot of contact, but that's really irrelevant because it's Armagh who are down to 14 players. Tyrone are on the move. And here's a man who was in shot a moment ago. That was Philip Jordan. Down he goes again. Mulligan inside. Transfer to Kevlin. Kevlin on a run. Kicks it high, but it's going to drop into the path of and the easy hands of one Paul Hurdy. Over the top it goes to Kieran Hughes. Francie Bellew. Armagh trailing at the moment by 3 points. Players going down, and I must really say players are falling to the ground here, and I'm very, very surprised. Brian Durr's on the ground, and Joe Kiernan just takes a swig of water now. Brian Durr's being spoken to by Brian White, and I think we can read that from here, Peter. And back in comes.
This is Brian Durr's obviously trying to stop the quick free there. Tony McEntee was having none of it.
Kieran McGinney and Mulligan being spoken to. Kieran McGinney's getting a yellow card. So in his 119th game for Armagh, Kieran McGinney picks up a yellow card. But Armagh need to take a deep breath and just keep the composure. They've won a sideline free. They're 3 points behind. They're a man down, and they've got Oshie McConville on the ball. McConville being shepherded into the corner. Given out to McEntee. Crossfield ball over his shoulder and goes wide.
And that really has been the story of Armagh's day, Jimmy, so far. Getting good enough possession, playing quite well at the back apart from the frees they've given away, but it's more their use of possession up front. The wides they've kicked, the bad decisions they've made, and they're proving costly for Joe Kiernan.
John Devine, quick free taken again. Armagh caught in the hop as Kieran Gurley goes down the far side in front of a packed Cusack stand. Sean Kavanagh. The transfer, Gurley is over the line, winded, loses the ball. It's a sideline for Armagh. Armagh looking to take it quickly, and there's no reason why they can't because the player is off the field of play. Aidan O'Rourke. Armagh, or Tyrone, have dropped Ryan McMahon back as a sweeper right in front of the full forward line. Barry O'Hagan, David Marsden's clubmate, is warming up as inside is Hughes. Hughes is being the play is being held up because off the ball Conor Gormley was seen to hold the Armagh forward, and this has really been one thing that you can always say about Brian White. Very quick to notice the man being held off the ball as Armagh bring on O'Hagan and take off John McEntee, I think it is.
Yeah, look, Brian White has had a good game, Jimmy, throughout in terms of frees. He has seen the way he's handled the game and his consistency, which players respect more than anything else.
Over the bar from Oshie McConville. Oshie McConville's second point. 10 points Tyrone, 7 Armagh, or 8 Armagh, I should say, back to 2 points as Barry O'Hagan comes on for his 59th game in an Armagh jersey. As Tyrone look to bring on Peter Canavan again, and it also looks as if Collie Holmes from Armagh Hearts is going to come out. Stephen O'Neill. Tyrone keep possession through Gavin Devlin. And to McGinley. Gives it into O'Neill. O'Neill's got a man on his outside if he needs him. Decides to go it alone. Puts it to the right. Does he? No. He puts it over the bar. Paul Hurdy had signalled a wide. So that was certainly premature. Armagh in a hurry. Paddy McKeever gives it to Kieran Hughes. Hughes trying to get away from his man. Gives it back to McKeever again. Philip Loughlin is inside. McConnell's on his own. McConnell turns, spins, gets away. Down he goes. Tried to give it to Loughlin on the way past. Another wide for Armagh. It's their fourth of the second half. It's their ninth in all. And John Devine took it quick, but the referee has asked him to take it again. Peter Canavan is about to be introduced. 8 minutes to go. 3 points between them. Canavan is attempting to come on, but Brian White, he's asking for the kick to be taken. Left to Kavanagh, who collects it. Stephen O'Neill scored a point a moment ago. Switch ball inside. Francie Bellew gets it. Gives it to Kieran Hughes. And to McNulty, forced to go back on his tracks. Armagh again. Barry O'Hagan's first touch, gives it into Kieran McGeeney. Francie Bellew continues his run from the back. Brought down. Kieran McGeeney looking up for some movement ahead. That's another poor ball. Barry O'Hagan did well to collect it. Driven in, broken away, and collected at the second attempt by Conor Gormley. Fed back to Devine. Sean Kavanagh collecting inside of Steve McDonnell, and the cornerback getting slightly embroiled. Long ball inside. Francie Bellew lets it go to Kavanagh. Owen Mulligan. Mulligan crossing the 20-metre line. Is 1-1 with Hurdy. Off the post. Third time was not lucky. Down goes Mulligan with cramp. Hurdy took the quick kick out, but Canavan is coming back on the field. He's going to come in for Peter Canavan, or for Jared Kaplan. And if that was a psychological move, it certainly got the Tyrone supporters back on their feet again.
Yes, this is the lift that the Tyrone team needs at this stage. And funny, that was one of those insurance type scores there that Owen Mulligan had for the taking. Had probably thought about goal first and then elected to take the point, and caught between the two decisions, came back up the post. And the game is still there for Armagh to salvage. There's about 29 minutes on the clock, Jimmy, and a bit of injury time.
Almost 6 minutes. Armagh needed possession, but it was Sean Kavanagh that got it. Sean Kavanagh into Canavan. Canavan loses out, but Kavanagh gets it back again. Brian Dooher collected by the Armagh defence, and immediately Brian McGuigan's in on top, but Brian White is there. I really have to hand it to Brian White. He's been right on top of everything.
I was going to say, Jimmy, you'd have to hand it to Francie Bellew. At times in there, he has single-handedly held the Tyrone forwards at bay. Has never given up, and it would have been unfortunate if that slip of his had gifted Owen Mulligan a goal a couple of minutes ago.
McGeeney drives it long. Paddy McKeever gets it with 5 minutes to go. Now it's Stephen McDonnell. McDonnell turns, tries to get away with McManaman. McManaman does well to close him down, but Tyrone defends, bunched in again. Gavin Devlin gives it to Hughes, gets it back again, feeds it to Stephen O'Neill. Stephen O'Neill crossing the 45-metre line. And McGinley, all he needs to do is keep possession. There's 6 Armagh men behind him. Owen Mulligan is there, but so is Francie Bellew and Paul Hurdy. Paul Hurdy gives it out down to McNulty.
That last pass to Stephen McDonnell's again, Jimmy, a poor decision at this stage. A point would be a very good score.
Sean McEntee inside with Kevin Hughes, who pulls at his jersey.
And the longer he takes, the more Tyrone players flood back into that danger area.
Steve McDonnell's up there, but all it needs is a fist from a defender. The forwards try to create, the defenders try to spoil, and it's the defenders who are doing the best at the moment. As away come Tyrone again. This time it's the substitute. Lovely ball by Collie Holmes, the Armagh Harps player, getting into a bit of a tussle with Philip Loughran, not releasing the ball. Paul McGrain did well to snatch it out. Nice little dummy. But there's that high ball again. Hopeful more than anything else. Steve McDonald's there, breaks it down. Kieran Hughes just couldn't get it. Brian Dooher tries to find Mulligan and does. Mulligan faced by Andy McNulty. The cramp is gone. Crossing the 45-metre line. Down he goes. Waits for a free, doesn't get it. Andy McGinley from Errigal Kieran. Home club of Peter Canavan, dropping short. Paul Hurdy, as Tyrone just can't put Armagh away. 3 points, 3 minutes to go, and whatever Brian White decides will be added on for injury time. Remember, it's Armagh with 14 players. Barry O'Hagan drives it in again. Steve McDonald waiting for the break. It's broken down. McEntee gives it inside to McDonald. McDonald, the ball was blocked. A brilliant block, it must be said. McDonald staying down. Played across again. The Tyrone defence are there, but still Armagh have it. Picked up. It's a free. But it'll be interesting to see when we see that again, who it was that got the block in.
A brilliant piece of play by Tony McEntee, who got the ball away to McDonald. He hesitated as if to make sure of the shot, to try to draw the keeper. But then the block came in. Steve McDonald still down. But you see, when I saw it first, I thought it was a foot block, and as a result, a penalty. But it wasn't a foot block. Brilliantly blocked. Just couldn't see.
Possibly Sean Kavanagh. Possibly Sean Kavanagh. Not too sure. And now Oshie McConville looking forward. And we're now going to be told how long is about to be played. Paddy Russell's gone inside as Oshie McConville puts it over. Oshie McConville's third point. 11 to Tyrone, 2 to Armagh, or 9 to Armagh. There's a 2 points difference. At least 3 minutes of additional time. So 3 minutes for Armagh to retain their title, or 3 minutes for Tyrone to get their first. President Mary McAleese looks on with her husband Martin, and they're looking down at two Ulster teams playing in this historic final. Tyrone get it. Sean Kavanagh has it. Just keeps possession and hits the ground, loses it. Now it's Armagh. Ciaran McGeeney gives it to Aidan O'Rourke. Aidan O'Rourke being tackled, held by Canavan, not being released by Canavan. Driven in again. McEntee's under it. Broken away. Ciaran Hughes have gone one side, the ball went the other. Brian Dooher, the vet who plays his football with Clonagale, gives it to Conor Gormley from Carrickmore. Tyrone moving again. Ryan McMenamin, Mr. Energy as far as Tyrone supporters are concerned, holding it up, still gets it, back under his feet again. He was tackled by McGeeney. We're now in the 3 minutes that have been added on by Brian White as Brian McGuigan loses it. Francie Bellew, Armagh's defender, is hauled down, hauled and held. Brian White over and trying to remove Owen Mulligan from all of that, and he's going to talk to Owen Mulligan. Conor Gormley is coming off as Owen Mulligan gets a yellow card. He's going to be replaced by Chris Lawn, who was here the last time that Tyrone played in an All-Ireland final. That day it was against Dublin. They lost that day by 12 points to 11. Today they're winning by 11 points to 9. Chris Lawn from Moortown Inn is on. Aidan O'Rourke crossing the halfway line, held up by McGuigan. Gets it into Andrew McCann. Andrew McCann playing his football on Leakslip. Drives it in. Lawn kept his eye on it. So did Ryan McMenamin. And now it's Cormac McAnallen. Chris Lawn gets his first touch. Tyrone quite content to run down the clock. Brian Dooher, a long kick, angled beautifully into the path of the substitute. Stephen O'Neill turns, kicks it over the bar, and that sure means that Sam Maguire is heading across Lough Neagh, heading into Tyrone for the first time ever. Canavan goes straight into the man. Free up the field for Armagh. Referee's going to talk to Peter Canavan. And Bran White, I'm quite sure, is going to get fed up flashing yellow cards as the flags of Tyrone fly proudly around Croke Park. At times it hasn't been pretty, but it's certainly been effective.
And Armagh are still going to have to go with this long ball, Jimmy, and a mass Tyrone defence at this stage. In fact, Aidan O'Rourke gives the ball away.
Mulligan falls down under the challenge, gives it to Lawn, but McGuigan gets it down. Goes McGuigan, tackled by Stephen McDonald. Free to Tyrone with 30 seconds left of the 3 minutes that Bran White has added on. He's checked his watch. It's 12 points to Tyrone, it's 9 points to Armagh. The National League champions are about to do the double. All on his own is Enda McGinley, faced by Francie Bellew. Turns away, tries to get past Bellew. An angled shot. McGinley didn't really mind where that ball went. Quick kick out. Tyrone get it again. Brandy, it's all over. It's all over. Armagh have lost their crown. They've lost it to their neighbours and great rivals Tyrone. And all the pleas of the stewards to keep Croke Park clear, just like last year, have fallen on deaf ears. The Tyrone supporters are out of their seats. The Armagh supporters are also out of their seats. But it's the faces of disappointment that belong to the Armagh supporters. The cheers, the screams and the tears belong to the people of Tyrone. A proud people who have given a lot to Gaelic football over the years. And as the Armagh supporters troop off their field, leaving their title behind them and leaving the field to players like Peter Canavan and the rest of the Tyrone supporters who see Sam coming to the O'Neill County for the first time ever.
And I don't think, Jimmy, anybody would begrudge Peter Canavan the opportunity to collect an All-Ireland medal and as captain as well to crown his marvellous career. Well done, Tyrone.
Owen Mulligan, one of the heroes of the day, he's being raised aloft as the Tyrone supporters, as I say, forget all the pleas from the crowd, the stewards. They're heading out onto Croke Park. They want to see their heroes, touch their heroes, as Benny Tierney has a little word of consolation. I think it's for Andy Mullen. And quietly and stoically, the Sam Maguire trophy looks down over a packed Croke Park. In fact, it's Ciarán McGeady with his clubmate, former clubmate Benny Tierney, and all Tyrone want to be part of this historic occasion. And there's a very wise move from the stewards to open the gates. They've been well practiced from last year. And as you said, Peter, Tyrone football deserve this. The record at underage level, at minor, at under 21, at vocational schools level, at colleges level, has all been pointing towards this day.
Yes, they've been working towards this for years. They've had their disappointment as well. The 1 point defeat by Dublin in the 90s, the disappointment of 86. And I suppose this is their crowning glory.